May I invite the next keynote speaker, that's from Kersten Group, Gordon Vogt.
Thank you, good evening, and all protocols observed, Mr. Ambassador, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, AmCham board. Thank you for inviting Kersten and having us here to provide you with a bit of our story so far. When I got called up by the board and they requested me to tell you about Kersten, who is 255 years old, I immediately started putting in a presentation of 100 slides, of course, and then today, Mr. Van Dijk, he walked away, requested me to do it in 5 minutes. So I trimmed down, removed 80 slides. It's for me exciting to see what's coming up, so please bear with me. Let's see how it goes. So, the index of this presentation is to tell you a little bit about Kersten, the history timeline, and where we stand right now, the division companies we have at this moment, and the way forward, what we see with the up-and-coming developments in the energy sector in particular. So we're a company set up in 1768. We have over 13 operating companies divided in 5 divisions. A little bit more about that in a couple of slides. We're active in various sectors. We have an international board. We have 3 board of directors members, Mr. Michel Jetanan Singh, Imani van Klaveren, and Mr. Kurt van Essen. I think he's here, or CCO. All right, 255 years. We put it in centuries, just to keep it short. Founded in 1768, and the business was started by a German missionary who needed to finance his missionary work with commercial activities. And it is something that is still the same basically if you look at Kersten right now. We are still owned by the Moravian Church, and the dividends we pay, they use to go out and do the missionary works. And it's, in my personal opinion, something good, because the local party of the church, the EBGS, they have 80 churches, 60 schools, 10 elderly homes, and part of the profits we make also go to their efforts here in Suriname. Well, century number 2, 1800s, we keep on playing, an important role in the development of Suriname, combining entrepreneurship with CSR. And in the 1900s, basically what you see is the business side expanding rapidly, adding new brands from also the US like Caterpillar, but also entering new sectors, the mining sector, and the sectors basically important for the development of Suriname. In the 2000s, this trend sets forward, and we add new brands like Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen, Toyota, and we start collaborating with international parties and setting up new companies like Argos Suriname with Argoscom Colombia, and we open our new CAT facility also in Trans-Guyana. Fast forward to today, celebrating 255 years, and we set up a new strategic plan. Last year got approved by the board, and this of course entails taking into account the developments in the energy sector offshore in Suriname. So the company as it stands right now, this is a commercial structure with the 5 divisions I mentioned earlier. We'll go through them fairly quickly because I got, I think, 1 minute left. The motors and industrial equipment, which is the biggest division of them all within the Kersten Group, with big brands like Toyota and Caterpillar, like I mentioned. The distribution division with one company, Kersten Distribution, set up in 1935, does 60% consumer goods, medical products, and 40% consumer goods. There's a small production facility, Surlab, they produce Alcolado, Glacial, right down Penguin in the right corner, and they basically sell it to Kersten Distribution and they distribute it over the whole country. Then the building and construction division, Argos Colombia, well, the company was set up in 1965, and a couple of years ago they started a joint venture with Argos Colombia and rebranded. Kersten BEM uses the cement to produce blocks right next to Argos, and we have Kersten Alginco, an installation company which does the whole 9 yards like gas, water, electrical, air conditioning, etc. Then the hospitality division, we're currently renovating the old hotel Krasnopolski previously into a Radisson, And the nice thing to know is that Radisson, the Latin American side of the business, was bought by Choice Hotels, which is also a US-owned company. So we are now with them to make this happen, and we will be opening next year. The Bergendal Wellness Resort is a beautiful resort in the Amazon in the Amazon rainforest, but sadly it got flooded last year. But we're actively trying to see what we can do and come up with to open again at a certain point. Popeyes, we have 4 restaurants in the country, and we have the franchise since 1999. All right, and then the energy division, personally my favorite, not just because I'm based in development, because it has the most attention, of course, and it has the most impact for the country and to develop. We have a long journey, I think maybe 2 to 3 years, actively pursuing and seeing what can we do in the sector. And now we have 2 companies set up. The first one is the Kersten Training Academy, which will provide obliged safety programs for people that want to work offshore. I don't need to tell Deborah and the more seasoned persons here from the oil and gas what this entails, but for Surinamese people this is very new, and the questions we get when we talk about this type of training is they think it is a program that will get them skilled. So this is not the case. It is a program to give you a certificate to go offshore and work in a safe manner when something happens, which might be dangerous. This is also in line with the vision of Kersten, community-driven, getting the community ready to participate in new sectors that are meaningful for Suriname. The second company, Kersten Environmental Services, which is a joint venture with Oilmark from Trinidad. This company will provide professional waste management services for the offshore, but also bringing those new technologies to Suriname will enable us to also provide these services to other local companies which might not have the services provided or offered at that level in Suriname yet. So, in a nutshell, the new strategic plan for Kersten, and I think a couple of my colleagues or different companies also mentioned this during the last sales from Staatsolie. Don't forget about your business now, because they need to get ready to even service the companies. You will have a huge growth in the economy, and you need to be on par with your service. And we divided this into 2 categories. So the spin-off business, we expect due to the economic growth, and the second one is providing new businesses like Kersten Training Academy and also the environmental services. What does it look like in the coming years? Well, we will focus on the strategic plan, of course, certifying our training academy accordingly by the end of this year, opening up the new Radisson Hotel Paramaribo by 2024, getting Kersten Environmental Services operational by 2025. But of course, we keep on looking and keep on talking, and we're open to collaborations with partners internationally and locally, of course. And it needs to be a 1 + 1 is 3, because we had instances where it was 1 + 1 is 1.5, but then you have, of course, a good company to discuss. That's it. I think I make it in 5 minutes, so thank you, and let's get ready together.